I want to start with the first question. And David, I'm going to put this one to you. There's a lot of people online tonight that understand Bitcoin and where the crypto markets are going. How would you explain Bitcoin simply to someone? What is Bitcoin, basically?
If people don't understand what Bitcoin is, welcome to the club. None of us understands what Bitcoin is or can be. Just to give you an analogy, the features of even something as simple and what we take for granted as coins took a long time to be understood. And those people who couldn't understand the features of those coins were taken advantage of. There was such a thing as coin clipping, which was the practice of shaving off or wearing off precious metal from the coins and then passing the debased coin onto an unsuspecting recipient while you kept that pot of gold or silver or whatever it was in little pieces, and then you melted, and that is what you did in a fraudulent manner. But this was the reason why more recently the ridges and the edges of precious metal coins have patterns so that this shaving couldn't happen. Now, when this stopped, not in the Middle Ages, it stopped in the mid-20th century when coins stopped to be made of precious metal. So if Bitcoin was born as a new digital currency, as a new digital gold, as a new digital asset, whatever you want to call it, 9 years ago, and you still don't feel you completely understand it, don't be worried, because what its features, characteristics, implications, and opportunities are, all of us are passionately working on still to find out. Now, the basic notion is that Bitcoin is the first application of an innovation, the blockchain technology that I assume we will get into more in detail. And as the first application, it needed to establish an example that others could follow, an example that purely digital entities, assets, could have persistent, reliable value that could be shared by many people, millions of people, or billions of people potentially, that could not be controlled, could not be subjected to the types of controls that other types of digital or traditional assets were. And up to now, Bitcoin spectacularly succeeded in this purpose of being a shining, driving example that others can leverage and base their further thinking and further actions on. How you use Bitcoin, whether you buy it, hold it, trade it, acquire products or services with it, is a different question. And as well as money, as well as an asset, as well as a protocol, Bitcoin is all of these things and more.
Awesome. And you know what's interesting, when we did that workshop about a month ago, someone shared the information that what's interesting is that the price has 10x over, or 10x plus in the last 12 months. But what's also interesting is that the user adoption has. So it's gone from about 10 million people around the world that were involved in Bitcoin to more recently over 100 million people. I don't know if any one of the three of you have updated numbers on that, but I think the point being is that worldwide people are starting to wake up and take notice of what is happening in Bitcoin. It really,
just to make a remark, I don't think that there are already 100 million people who are actively using Bitcoin. I think that number is the wallets, which is a larger number than the number of users, to be precise. Now, this means that there is even more that can be learned and gained by understanding Bitcoin, because in my opinion, it is almost sure that billions of people are going to be active Bitcoin users and holders, and that is the type of change that we are going to see in the next year or two or three.
Wow.